You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
This is Jesse, and in the future, Google Maps will go so advanced that when roofing companies offer to do an estimate on your house, they won't even need to climb up a ladder. They'll just need us to zoom in on their screen.
This is Melanie, and in the future, movies and television shows will be way cheaper because instead of hiring these writers that can't ever finish anything right, they'll just have the fans write the shows, and it'll be awesome.
This is Randy. In the future, if you don't have a cartoon kitchen, we're going to Planet Krypton, the superhero-themed restaurant.
There's a superhero-themed restaurant named Planet Krypton?
No, not necessarily.
Oh, there should be. And it should be green. And then there should be and there should be a special like VIP section that's called the Fortress of Solitude.
You notice in all the flashbacks how it isn't green?
Yeah, I did notice that.
What's that about?
I don't know. Maybe it turns green under the yellow sun. Ooh.
Oh. So why? So why isn't Superman green?
Because he's not made of dirt.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. You know.
I don't know why this makes sense, but I trust you.
Welcome to the Grawlix podcast, episode number 47. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Today, we are going to talk about Kingdom Come. We read it. We're going to talk about it. It's part of our poll list. That's going to
What
be
is that?
A poll list? Holy boy.
Holy boy.
I'm glad you asked. So every other episode, we discuss a book that we read, chosen by you, the listener, or general visitors to the website. If you go to grawlixpodcast.com and click on the tab that says poll list, it's also in the sidebar if you're on a desktop. There's a poll, like as in voting, and we will actually count your votes. This is not an electoral college, and
Oh boy.
And you can pick what we read next. Preferably vote on what's there, but if you have a burning desire to hear us read something specific, you can even put that in. We'll add it to the list, and other people can vote on it.
Yeah. So our poll list picks, it's a tie this month between Pride of Baghdad by Brian K. Vaughan or TNMT, which is so open-ended.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'll have cut it out, but we just discussed this at somewhat length. We've kind of handled ties several ways, so I think we're gonna go ahead and fall back on a coin flip.
Yes.
Okay.
Which we've done in the past, but
And it's a nickel, but
a nickel.
a nickel.
Which one should be heads?
Pride of Baghdad,
Pride of Baghdad will be heads.
because they have heads.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will be tails.
Because turtles have tails.
But those turtles, I don't think do.
Well, that's because they're
You just
hidden
can't
in
see
their,
them.
They're hidden in their
Oh,
shells.
that's a good point. All right. Coin flip. Ready?
Yes.
Yep.
It's tails. We're reading Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
All right.
Oh, hey.
So, do we want to worry about which turtles we're reading? Because there's a lot of turtles.
Yes, we do want to worry about that, but not on the podcast.
Okay.
Truth. Yep.
Okay.
It'll be a surprise, listener. You have to wait a month.
Yeah.
But it will be ninja, it will be mutant, and it will be teenage, maybe turtles.
Maybe.
Could be aliens
Maybe.
too.
Could be.
Well,
Well, was it Dimension X and the whatever they're called? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They were teenagers. They were aliens. Never mind.
all right. So, do we want to jump right into this month's poll list?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Or do we have in-house?
Well,
What do we
the
wanna
only
do?
thing I was thinking is something we forgot to talk about last episode, but last episode was a big one,
Yeah.
was Free Comic Book Day.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically, something that ties into a topic we discussed, I don't know, a couple months ago. I think
I think it was on a pre-show, wasn't it? I don't know.
Oh, maybe it was on a pre-show.
Well, if it was, then ha. No, I'm just kidding.
Go to patreon.com/Grawlix podcast if you want to hear those pre-shows. Just $1 a month gets you all kinds of bonus content. If you want, you can pay us more. You'll get other bonus content.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But Pepe. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Frog.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a ninja. He's just a stoner who plays video games. hangs out with his roommates. That's it. That's all he does.
That might be my new favorite quote from the show. He's not a ninja. He's just a stoner.
Yeah.
Plays video games.
He'd probably hang out with the Ninja Turtles, but they wouldn't fight crime.
No.
No, they just like
Eat pizza.
That's true.
They would do all the domestic part of Ninja Turtles.
Play some games.
Play video games and eat pizza.
Maybe they'd do a backflip or now and again. I don't know.
They'd see a rat once in a while and they'd be like, "Whoa."
That rat just talked to me, man.
I think he did, dude. It would be a totally different series if they were just stoners.
Okay, so Pepe the Frog, as most of the world recognizes this thing, it's a meme. I mean, it became a meme.
Right.
And more recently, it became a meme associated with alt-right and neo-Nazi white supremacy-ish sentiment spread around on the internet.
Yeah.
It got all sorts of weird, different kinds of spin. Like, was it Hillary Clinton kind of mentioned Pepe in one of her debates or one of her rallies or something? Yeah.
But originally, he is not that thing.
No, he's part of a webcomic, Boys Club, created by Matt Fury. And he's just one of 4 characters. And they're just roommates. And basically, it's kind of like being college roommates with a bunch of guys. Like, that's basically what the comic boils down to, is they all just have their own personalities and they just kind of all like do weird shenanigans.
I love shenanigans.
Yeah. And Pepe basically is just like, he's this frog that plays video games half the time. Like, the guys, like in one strip in particular, they're all like, "Hey, Pepe, you should check this out." And he's like, "Nah, man, I'm playing this video game." And like, that kind of boils down what Pepe is. Like, he's just a chill frog. And that's the artist and author's exact description of him. He's a chill frog.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason, I didn't even read it. I should have read it. I forgot we were going to talk about it for the show, obviously, hence, forgetting to mention it last episode. But the reason we bring it up now is Free Comic Book Day, which was last month when this goes up, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
And what company put it out?
Is it Fantasy Graphics or something?
Yeah,
like that?
I think so. They put out, one of the free comics offered was a like a compilation of short stories and comic stories and strips and stuff, including a boys club in which Pepe's dead.
Yeah, it's open casket and the other roommates are there, and like, it's irreverent. Basically, Lan Wolf spills his drink on Pepe's corpse, and that's basically how they give him his send off, and that's kind of the most appropriate boys club way for them to deal with anything, is for Lan Wolf to maybe spill his drink or take his pants off or something. Like, that's the kind of crazy irreverent shock humor that this strip had.
Maybe it's like, when you pour some 40 for your homie or something.
Only directly on them.
Yeah.
Here's one on my homie.
Here's one on my homie.
And I picked up this issue, and like I said, I didn't even realize. I was just like, "Ooh, this looks good," when I hit the shop that day. Mm-hmm. But obviously, the reason we're discussing it is we were just talking about how, there's no way the author was going to be able to reclaim that character.
Yeah.
I mean, he could still keep using that character, but it's kind of
tainted.
It really, and it,
Oh yeah, he's considered hate speech. Pepe the Frog is, at least by one group's standards he's considered hate speech. So at this point, it's like, wow, what do you do after that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I think this is kind of his only way to basically say, okay, listen, I'm washing my hands of the character. Anything that happens online that involves this character from this moment forward, it's not my Pepe. It's whatever's whatever it's become. You know, like this is not the character I created.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks to have your character co-opted like that, but I mean,
Right.
That's about the best way to handle it.
Oh, it's the last option, really.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he went on a campaign for a while of trying to reclaim the character. It was the whole hashtag save Pepe kind of thing. And, you know, like, there's just no way to come back from that. And of course, you know, the people who are using him the way they're using him, they're going to keep using him that way. But this was basically his way of saying, well, all right, it's not Pepe. Pepe's dead.
Like, Pepe, if you're going to be a racist, then you're dead to me.
You're dead to me, Pepe.
Yeah, that'd be so weird as a creator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine it.
It's kind of unique. I mean, not to say other people haven't like had their characters taken and used in a way they don't
Right.
approve
Like
of.
Watterson had the whole like he didn't make merchandise out of any of the Calvin and Hobbes stuff.
Mhm.
But you know, there's those Calvin peeing on a Ford symbol or whatever stickers out there.
Mhm.
It's like that, but like to the next level. And for a long time, it was just kind of an innocuous meme. Like it was basically like they used Pepe like an emoji,
Mhm.
you know, like
Because he has that certain
like,
look.
yeah, and it was like he's like if he's happy, then they would use the feels good man meme, which is like it's a key moment in the webcomic. Or they would do a sad version of the frog if they didn't agree, and they had a smug Pepe for if you were feeling smug. And so that's basically it. Like they turned Pepe into an emoticon, but at a certain point it went sideways, and now it's where it is.
Yeah.
And it's probably more popular than ever, just
Oh.
to the wrong people.
Oh, I'm sure more people know of Pepe now than ever, would have known. But
Do you think if he had made characters that were go-getters with a lot of motivation, it would have made a difference? Because if you
I
make
don't know.
you make like a cool frog that doesn't really do a lot, and then you're like, help me save this frog that doesn't really do a lot, then people are like, nah, I don't feel like really doing a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I was kind of trying to figure out what it was with this character. I was like, what if they made Michelangelo since that's our pull list pick for next month, what if Michelangelo was a racist? It's like, that's never happened because the character is so obviously like entrenched in pop culture that like the internet just doesn't mess with him the same way.
Yeah.
But we've got this webcomic character that's a little less established, and he's more established as a meme than he is as a character. We can do what we want with him.
Mhm.
Like you're like, you don't just up and make Optimus Prime a racist. I don't know.
But it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to make. Well, maybe Optimus Prime, but it's kind of hard to make the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles racist when who are they going to be discriminating against? They're freaking green turtles.
Well, Pepe,
Like
It's
the only ones.
It's
in the
not
world.
easy being green.
but Pepe's a green
It's
frog.
not easy.
Yeah, but he lives with, I'm assuming, a bunch of other animals that are also.
The turtles live with a rat. I think it's purely the look of it.
Mhm.
It's got that slightly ugly look, like he's like
Mhm.
kind of a rough looking character, just in its style, and that the internet tends to grab onto. It's like, I'm gonna have to Grawlix it, but it's like shit posting. That's the official term for posting. I mean, it's shit posting, but posting crappy looking memes and stuff like that just to whatever. Not to say Pepe looks crappy, but it's kind of like that. What's rage face? Those rage face
Oh,
memes
yeah.
where it's like
Sure,
kind of
sure.
grotesque almost.
Okay,
Yeah.
like that.
It's distorted. Yeah.
Oh God, she's looking at Pepe pictures.
Oh.
Yeah, of course. And then I think it's also it's just based on how the character looks, the expressions. It's more the expressions, because it is a very expressive face, the images they choose.
Honestly, I think only the Feels Good Man is like a legit Pepe. I think the other two, I mean, unless I haven't seen them all, are just like fan renditions of Pepe. Like someone else made a Pepe that's smug. I don't remember ever seeing a smug Pepe in Boys Club.
Okay.
Maybe I haven't gotten that far, but I mean, like in the collected Boys Club that Fantagraphics put out, I didn't see a smug Pepe in there.
Well, and yeah, I mean, Melanie was looking through some Pepe images, and there's a lot that are obviously like people drawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stripper one for sure.
And in that case, I think it's... yeah, there was a stripper Pepe.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it's the internet doing what the internet does. They'll take something... I mean, it's kind of like the remake culture thing, but, you know, for evil. But they'll just take in... Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Finish your thought.
No, you were going to say something.
I was going to say, I think the weird, like, ugly, scrunched up face thing meme would be more appropriate for racism.
Oh, yeah.
The rage face thing.
I don't know what it is.
I think that was on its way out, though.
Really? Good,
Sure.
because I never cared for it.
I know you didn't. We've talked about this on the show, I think. But I haven't read it. I had meant to read it before we recorded this month's episodes.
Rest in peace, Pepe.
It's just an interesting case study for internet memes and interpretation and original author's intent and stuff like that. It's just interesting to dig into a little bit.
I'm flipping through. It's the Boys Club trade that I've gotten. It's so bizarre. It's all like they're all tripping out and like their arms are way too long and yeah.
Sounds fun.
It's bizarre.
That sounds fun.
I mean, like somebody should put it on our poll list. No, they shouldn't. No.
No, because that'd probably be like milk and cheese for me. And
yeah.
We could do a webcomic recommendation of it.
yeah, we could do that.
Now that I've flipped through it, I was like, yeah, this would go over about as well as milk and cheese, just because like a couple of them, fine. A whole book of them, probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Not meant to be just taken in that way.
Right.
Not meant for mass consumption.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, maybe it would be okay if I like set it on the back of the toilet and just read it every once in a while. But
yeah. At least this isn't like the same thing happening every strip, but it's very similar.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's talk about the comic book.
Yeah, let's talk about the thing we're supposed to be talking about. Let's do it.
What? Kingdom Come? What?
Yep.
Mark Waid?
We're going to discuss Kingdom Come. Written by Mark Waid and Alex Ross. Art by Alex Ross. This was released originally as a 4-issue miniseries in 1996 by DC Comics under their Elseworlds imprint. And I do have, should I get to this now? The collected editions have 2 additional scenes. And I could tell you the scenes now, or I could wait till we get into it. Because we read the collected edition.
Okay.
Yeah, I did too. One of them anyways.
Well, I don't know.
Okay. Well, first we'll get into it a little bit. Then, if you remember, remind me to pull my notes back up.
Okay.
So, Kingdom Come it's as the imprint implied, Elseworlds story. So, non-canon. In the future. Mm-hmm. It's like a kind of a future story. And
it's a future prediction.
It is.
Mm-hmm. In several different ways, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
How did I not come up with a good future prediction based off of something in here? Superman at one point had left. There was some altercation, some deal with Magog. Essentially, he left because people were more supportive of these newer, edgier, more violent criminals willing to do what it takes to get the job done. I.e., somebody killed the Joker.
Not even criminals, like anti-heroes or whatever.
Yeah, really. Yeah. So Superman got upset and left, basically, put himself in exile. And so then I guess everything kind of changed, and the metahumans that are currently whatever, anti-heroes and whatever else, just people doing things, are kind of out of control. And a lot of the main old school superheroes, your Batman and Flash, pretty much stick to their own cities. And for the most part, I don't know. The state of the world when we get into this is kind of interesting, because it's not like there's an event that happens that would hasten a doomsday type scenario, but it's not like the world's in ruin or anything, but it just definitely seems like it's a world dealing with metahumans out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
It's almost like two separate things. Like there's what the metahumans are up to, and then the people are just kind of like trying to live around it.
this is like, I don't know, second or third, maybe even, I don't know, generation. So there's like a lot more metahumans than there used to be too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's the babies of the older metahumans being brats. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
kind of. I didn't get too far into the series, but, well, maybe I'll save that for later, because this seems like an very influential work in a lot of stuff that I've read the past couple years.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll get into that a little bit later.
Superman has gone into seclusion in a virtual reality farm or something of that nature.
Yeah, what was the deal with that? Because it was like a farm,
Mm-hmm.
but then it was clearly...
Fortress of Solitude, though.
It was in there. Was it like a holodeck in his Fortress of Solitude or something?
Yeah, from what I understand, because Wonder Woman shows up and is like, "Hey, the world's not right. We need you."
Okay, so the whole setup for this is there was a skirmish between Magog. He was involved, right?
But
Magog?
and
Just
Yeah.
some random people I can't remember.
Yeah.
A bunch of metahumans.
it was one person. If we're talking about the Kansas thing,
Yeah. I mean, there were several like involved in the fight initially. But,
no, there was a bunch of metahumans, and like they were chasing one guy
Okay. Yeah.
because they were talking about it being overkill. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And this villain who they even said, or this whoever they were fighting against, and they even said like he shouldn't have been able to get the jump on this character. A metahuman gets injured, and he's one of those radioactive, made out of radioactive energy type guys.
Yeah, one of those guys.
And it basically unleashes like a nuke strike. It's in the middle of Kansas, which contaminates the soil, kills millions of people, all the animal life around there and stuff. And that's a major issue because it messes up the heartland of America, and that takes out a lot of the farmland. So then the world is potentially looking at what's the word? Not a drought. Food short. Just insane food shortages.
Mm-hmm.
So it's viewed as a potentially like apocalyptic situation. And then not, aside from that, it's also viewed as like these guys are clearly good and bad are clearly out of control.
Mm-hmm.
The whole story is really told through this premise of the Spectre goes and finds this minister.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's basically because the Spectre needs
Basically, the human perspective.
a human perspective on it to judge, even though in the end he doesn't really get any kind of chance to judge. He has like no impact. I mean, he does, but Captain
His name is
Adam. It was
Norman?
Captain Adam.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Captain Adam got cut, and that went nuclear.
Yeah.
When Superman leaves after Magog basically executes the Joker.
Well, I think it was they make it sound like people thought he was afraid of Magog. Like he called him out to like come fight me then, and he disappeared. But it seems pretty obvious from the book that it wasn't that he was afraid of fighting Magog. He was just disgusted with the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and people would kind of there was some taunting when he people would use that to kind of like trying to mess with Superman, but
Mm-hmm.
essentially Superman's just like
I'm Superman.
you guys don't want me. I don't want to take care of you guys now.
Yeah.
Parts of it are very Injustice, Gods Among Us.
Mm-hmm.
Except Injustice, Gods Among Us is like this setup, only no Magog, Superman actually killed Joker himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then things go out of control. But
It's also very Red Sun.
Mm.
It's clear that this must have influenced Red Sun a little bit.
The story's told like conventionally. You go from moment to moment during this whole kind of escalation, and the story is told plays out. But they use this plot device I guess it's not even plot device, storytelling device of the Spectre taking this minister from moment to moment.
Mm-hmm. Well, really, it's
Right.
the way he makes it sound is it's the opposite. It's that he's using the human to guide him with his visions that he got from his friend somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And his visions, kind of fun, I guess, but his visions, I mean, when he says the visions, it's revelations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like from the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, kingdom come, thy will be done, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What?
It's good.
Yeah.
I guess, okay, so we've kind of skipped over what we usually do. I guess we said what our experience with this going into it was. What did you guys think of this?
I liked it.
Okay.
I felt really bad for Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
I was disgusted by the earwigs.
Yeah, it's gross.
And, yeah. But other than that, it was, once I got into it and kind of realized what it was, it did kind of go the way that I figured it would, for the most part. I didn't really understand at the end.
Did you like...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, how'd you feel about how all the characters changed? Like, Kingdom Come Superman is very different. Kingdom Come Flash is like practically a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Kingdom Come Green Lantern basically sits up in a watchtower above the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Batman is Batman.
Batman is Batman.
Batman is Batman with an awesome, spine cage.
Yeah, exoskeleton thing.
Yeah.
Because you assume he's broken back and decrepit.
Yeah.
I had mentioned The Flash to Melanie before she got a chance to read it. I love this Flash because he is like a ghost. He doesn't seem human, and he doesn't play much of a role. He's just kind of there most times. I don't think he even has any dialogue.
No.
I mean, he does
Effect.
He has an effect in one scene, but the impression is he just doesn't ever stop.
Yeah.
He's just always saving people in his city.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, you don't ever see any still images of him. Anytime there's a group scene and he's there, he's still a blur.
Mm-hmm.
And even the Spectre talks about how, because the Flash kind of zooms through their plane of existence at one point, and the Spectre even talks about how he occasionally, forgets the Flash's ability to run through all the planes of existence. And so, yeah, he seems...
Oh, that's right, because he yanks Norman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Norman, that's his name. Yeah, and I just love, again, we don't get much of him, but, and it's Wallace Flash, so it's Wally, but he looks like Jay Garrick, old school metal hat Flash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Dick Grayson dons the Robin outfit again, but he's Red Robin, and this is where the Red Robin moniker comes from.
Really?
It's from this Elseworld, yeah. In fact, Tim Drake wears that outfit for a little while, which was like, oh man, it's Kingdom Come happening.
The Superman was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Especially when they first went and found him in that little Kansas illusion thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was long hair and a ponytail and is graying, and he just looked rough.
Uh-huh.
He looked like alcoholic Superman or something.
Yeah. Superman let himself go.
So things progress after the one thing, and Superman goes back and starts fighting, other heroes, even, and not even just criminals, the other heroes, and decides at some point that he has to build a prison for them.
Oh, yeah, no, it's becoming very clear that it's what's totalitarian.
Mm-hmm. I think initially he didn't want that. He was trying to send him to, what's the planet that Darkseid lives on? Apocalypse. But they were like, yeah, no, we're not dealing with your crap. I got my own crap to deal with.
Well, it's he didn't want it all throughout the thing, yet he was still doing it though. Mm-hmm. He'd show up, and it's basically if you're good or regardless, you're good or bad, you're a metahuman, you're with us, or there's trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was recruiting a bunch of people, and at first that seemed to be going well, even though, again, even that was he'd just come in and be like, you do this or we will crush you.
Yeah.
And that doesn't always go well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when there becomes the need for some type of prison or something to deal with the people that didn't want to play along.
I like to call it a gulag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like a prison, but it's worse because they weren't even locked up. They were just roaming freely in this little make-believe land with a giant Superman being like, be good, don't hurt people.
It sounded like it would a hologram that would pop up once a day and basically lecture them.
Yeah. That worse
like a boring Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did he expect? I thought it was interesting because they really they don't shy away from him becoming world dictator. And the whole time, like, he's doing these things where it's like clearly like, well, that's what you're doing, dude. But the whole time he's like, I don't want that. I don't want to set up this prison. I don't want to do this. I don't want this. But it's like, but that's what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And Wonder Woman, as is common in these kinds of stories, definitely embraces the more violent side and the more like, you got to take control. People are going to die because this is war side, which is a common Wonder Woman thing.
Yeah, but
she's Schwarzenegger in this. She's like, get to the chopper. Do it now.
Yeah. Batman. Oh, okay. So I guess we're into this a bit. So Batman pretty much sticks to Gotham, although of course not really. He's got plans. He's plotting. He's Batman because he knows some stuff is going down. But he's old, so he just chills out in his cave, and he basically has bat robot drones and stuff that patrol Gotham in his own like kind of
his own gulag.
Yeah.
Wait.
Well, he's got his own like robotic Gestapo force, so he's got his own like power trip going.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because that is something that's popped up, like a lot of these themes. That's something that's popped up a lot in main continuity DC stuff. The Grant Morrison Batman Incorporated stuff, he kind of like introduced the robot Batman that would work autonomously or whatever the expression is. And then several times in more recent stuff is, well, Gordon was the Rabbot Man.
Yeah.
So he had the rabbit looking Batman suit. And even then they'd have like bat robots that would come in.
It seemed like they had a bunch of suits, but the suits could run without people in them anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah.
So that's a common theme that I've seen a lot in modern DC too, is Batman with the robots taking care of things.
Yeah.
Even in Batman Beyond, I believe he tries to replace Terry McGinnis with robots at some point.
Yeah.
Robots can't get their back broken.
Nope.
You're right.
So.
It's really the bane of his existence.
Ooh. Total real brief side note. I'm way behind on my normal comics reading. So I've been trying to catch up on Batman, the Tom King stuff. And I'm not up to the Button stuff yet. I haven't read that yet.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of crazy, I guess. But
yeah, me either. Yeah.
The storyline before that is I Am Bane. And I'm only in part 3, maybe. I think it's 4, maybe 5-part storyline. But so far, pretty good Bane story. And Bane's not like, I'm not crazy about Bane. There's not a lot to grab onto with him, but I like how it's being handled.
Cool.
Good. I was going to say, like, Night's End, that's really the only Bane I've ever cared about, And even that's kind of weak if you really dissect it.
Yeah, this recent issue I read, he did this interesting parallel between young Bruce Wayne dealing with his mother's death and Bane dealing with his mother's death. Obviously Bruce Wayne in like a mansion with a butler and Bane in prison.
Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting drawing parallels but highlighting the differences.
Batman was supposed to his parents.
I know, but they focused on the mother.
Yeah.
A lot. Because that was Bane's situation.
Yeah, I know.
There's no Bane here. I don't think there was.
He's probably...
Nope, not that I'm aware of.
Probably already gone.
Yep. If you're going to kill the Joker, you got to kill Bane too. That's a 2-for-1 deal.
Joker looked crazy in this. Like,
yeah. Like he kind of looked Jack Nicholson-esque.
Yeah, he did a little bit for sure. Maybe a little bit more jowly, but it gave me that feel for sure.
The gulag explodes.
Well, yeah, that's, I mean,
yeah.
So.
Oh, no, actually, it's Lex Luthor. That's what it is. It's Lex Luthor and his little.
Yeah, that becomes.
That guy.
That becomes a big part of the plot, is the plot to make this prison fail to kind of instigate like a final confrontation between all these metahumans. Lex has obviously got dirty tricks up his sleeve, and he started, I don't remember the name of it, but it's some like kind of humanitarian group.
It's basically the Legion of Doom, but yeah, they don't call themselves that.
It's something like ridiculous, like something for the betterment of humanity, blah blah blah. And then he like gives his evil plan, and somebody's like, how is that for the betterment of humanity? He's like, in the long run, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
He's still got it out for metahumans and, people with greater powers than the normal man.
I thought it was crazy that you have like Selena Kyle and Edward Nigma basically together.
Yeah.
They're like, Nigma, you're only here because of Selena.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. And Nigma is like real annoying in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not to say the Riddler couldn't be annoying, but I'm used to him being played off a bit more like intelligently.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's just him being cocky here, but he did not seem intelligent.
Yeah.
And then they also have the earwigged Shazam
Mm-hmm.
as part of their group, and eventually Batman.
Yeah, Batman joins up, which is shocking at first.
Yeah.
But, you know, Batman's smart.
Yes, he is. He's the world's greatest detective.
The whole deal with Shazam is...
Horrifying?
Well, I mean, but Lex is basically using him as literally as like a waiter. But he's got him under a mind control, and he's apparently, it sounds like for like 20 years or something, he's been doing this to him.
Uh-huh.
And showing him these like movies of superheroes just destroying cities and stuff. And he's like, that's not how it was. And he's like, that's what they remember. And just warping the guy's mind.
With earwigs.
So it's young Billy Batson grown up. So he looks like Shazam like all the time because he's an adult now.
Yeah, it was kind of confusing for me a little bit, actually.
Uh-huh. I don't think I've read anything where they had a grown-up Billy Batson. So that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
When Batman's got his own little group that surrounds him too, like he's got Ollie and a couple people around him.
Yeah, Ollie's the main one I can remember. I can't remember who else.
Ted
Probably
Cord.
Yeah.
Robin.
Like basically a lot of people who are just humans.
Yeah.
Robin joined Superman for whatever reason.
Oh, he did?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he joined up with Superman. I also enjoyed Superman, like, he just busts into the Batcave. Like, at one point, he, like, flies down under... It looks like he flies into a body of water and then just busts up through the Batcave. But him and Batman do not have a good relationship. I mean, they always kind of have, like, a... Well, it's not true. They don't always have this negative of a relationship, but they kind of rib each other. Or Batman's a jerk and Superman kind of, like, whatever, puts up with it when he can afford to. But yeah, they definitely don't see eye to eye on this.
Mm-hmm.
And Bruce doesn't even try, though. Of course, you know, Superman's stubborn, but Bruce has very much got the attitude of like, you left, I've been here the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you're in your cave. And he's like, yeah, but I'm doing, like, things are happening.
And then
Luthor's whole plan is, he's going to use Shazam.
He does use Shazam.
Well, he's going to use Shazam. Batman tries to stop this plan or change it, but it doesn't work because Shazam's mind is warped.
Well, the part of the plan that he sent him out to accomplish, he did, which was busting open the gulag.
This is true, but I would argue the whole plan, and not to the extent past the big event, worked out the way Lex would have wanted it to, but the whole plan worked the way Lex wanted to. Even though Superman was eventually able to, like, kind of talk some sense into Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he busts up the prison. There's a big metahuman fight.
There was already kind of a little bit of a riot going on before he busted open, but
there was a murder of some kind in there. But when it came to the actual fight, Wonder Woman was the one that, like, drew first blood. Basically, she killed the first person in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting, with a crazy magic sword that cut Superman.
Mm-hmm. What is Shazam's power? I have a question about that, because when Superman got there and started fighting, or he was going to fight and he couldn't because Shazam was there and apparently is his equal, but it seemed like his power was to just keep saying Shazam over and over.
Well,
that's the magical part, and that's what Superman's susceptible to, is that a magic lightning that transforms him. And so if he wanted to take down Superman, that would be the way to do it.
That's so cheap, though. That's like hitting the same button over and over when you're in a fighting game.
It's totally button spamming. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's what it is. When he transforms, there's the lightning and it's a big boom. And I've seen that in a couple things where he'll use that as a weapon. But in this situation, he button spammed Shazam over and over and just pounded him.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty intense. I enjoyed that whole thing. And I like that when it came down to it, Superman realized he's like, I can't punch my way out of this one. And he holds his mouth shut in between Shazam's.
Mm-hmm.
And while he was like normal, which was interesting, and wise, but and talked him down, like at least enough to where talk some sense into him,
I don't even know if it was that so much. I mean, it was maybe a little bit talking sense into him, but more than that, it was like, I don't know what to do myself, and I need help. So stop being crazy so you can help me, because I don't know what to do.
Because at this point, the government has humans, because everybody, whether quote unquote good side or bad side of the metahumans or the regular humans, everybody's got a hand in this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Has a wrongdoing involved in this, because they sent 3 bombers with 3 nukes to drop it.
I don't even think they were like some super duper nukes that they made specifically to kill super powered people.
Yeah. It wasn't a K-bomb. They mentioned K-bomb, and at first I was like, K-bomb? And they're like, Superman's not... Kryptonite doesn't even have an effect on Superman anymore. He's used to it. He built up a tolerance, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe,
I guess.
Yeah.
All those years of Lex just shoving it in his face. He's like, nah, whatever. Kind of tickles. Got a rash for about a week. It clears up.
And I mean, the bomb did at least one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of them, because I think Superman or Batman and Wonder Woman, who were fighting, and I think Batman talked a little bit of sense into Wonder Woman, took down 2 of the planes, but couldn't get the 3rd.
And I think that if anything were to be the apocalypse, that would have been it. They have these 3 super powered nukes to kill super beings. If they all 3 had landed, how much of the world would that have destroyed? I mean, not just with the blast, but like the radiation would be everywhere. Everywhere.
And the area had already been nuked, but that's worth noting. Like Superman, I don't remember who he had. Somebody like decontaminated the area by the time they built the prison. So that
I think they went like absorbed the radiation, or something like that. Probably fueling themselves up.
Fueling themselves up. Okay, I thought you said feeling themselves up.
No, you know, like
what does that do?
Like Captain Adam Jr. He's like, oh, I need to go absorb some of this. And
Captain Adam Jr.
Well, I don't know.
Probably is Captain Adam Jr. I don't know. Or wouldn't it be like is Lieutenant higher ranking than Captain? Probably.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Or maybe we just got all crazy and had Dr. Manhattan come and suck it all up, because isn't he made out of radiation too?
The bomb's falling. Shazam decides to kind of, not just be crazy and let the bomb hit. I did enjoy, and this is where I was a little confused, because at this point, it seems like Judgment, and Spectres keep saying Judgment, and it's basically like 2 options. These superheroes, you either let the bomb drop on the superheroes and take them all out, or you let, the bomb stop somehow, but eventually the superheroes are going to take Earth out.
Or take over, at least.
So that was the Judgment, and Spectre said several times, Judgment.
But he never did judge anything, did he?
No, he didn't. He didn't make a decision, and Superman didn't know what to do, and ultimately it came down to Shazam, which was interesting. Superman is even like, here's our options. I'm going to let go of you. Do whatever you're going to do. And Shazam flies up himself up to the bomb, and it looks like at first he's like trying to hold it, and then he says Shazam a bunch of times until it explodes above the fight before it hits the ground. And at this bit, I was like, this is awesome. Oh my God. Because when there's a big mushroom bomb and when the smoke clears, and I've seen this picture online all over the place, you've got the Superman on his knees and you flip the page and Superman's the only one alive and he's surrounded by a bunch of skeletons of the other metahumans.
And that's an awesome shot. It is. It's fantastic. I loved it.
The bomb took out, even though Shazam tried to stop it, the bomb still took everybody out except for Superman and maybe a couple other people that pop up later. Yeah,
but they don't show you that right away.
Right.
And then Superman, I was like, and this is kind of, I think, from reading a lot of the Monitor stuff, I was like, oh, we're full on Injustice Superman now. Because he's in rage mode and he's going to the UN or wherever to vent. Yeah, or Washington to vent. Basically, he shows up there and starts tearing the building down with all the leaders in it.
Well, it doesn't necessarily, I don't know, he seals the door shut with his heat vision, first of all. And then he tears the roof off, but he sets it back down over him.
Well, he gets interrupted.
Yeah.
And that's when
Storm and Norman comes in.
Yeah. And even the Spectre's like, well, nope, it's done. Let's leave. And Norman's like, well, what did you bring me here for? Like, why am I here? No, let me talk to him now. And he talks to Superman.
And of course, the main superheroes are the ones that manage to get into some kind of safety bubble and survive. And all the other crappy side heroes we don't know anything about are the ones that died.
Okay, and this is my problem with the book. I like this a lot. I thought it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It obviously like inspired a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, including I was going to mention earlier. I was reading. I didn't get too far into it, but at one point I was reading. I think it's Jupiter's Legacy or something like that, which was basically like the spoiled superhero children of old superheroes, but it was distributed through Image, I think, or something like that. So it wasn't like DC characters, but very much like the
Analogs
world
or whatever.
Yeah. But this is where I felt the impact from like 2 pages before was kind of cheapened, because it's like, and it, of course some metahumans are going to survive. They're not all necessarily going to be there. But I was like, oh, here's Wonder Woman and Batman and, you know, all the
and Flash and
well-known superheroes that you actually care about, instead of all the no-names and little side characters who actually died. So that kind of made it feel slightly cheap to me.
Yeah. I was like, at least have 1 or 2 big people that they can mourn.
It's like killing HR, but then bringing Wells back as soon as HR's out of the scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. It's like, yes, there was impact there, but then you just kind of cheapened it because the heroes we really care about, they're all okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Shazam did die, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his is probably the most tragic bit out of it all.
What it really, really is. He's had a horrible time for probably most of his life, and then dies trying to save everybody, because that's what you do to somebody that you've ruined.
Mm-hmm. And then Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman go and have dinner.
Yep. Oh, and
yeah. Epilogue.
And Superman and Wonder Woman get it on.
Yep, they hook up
at some point. Yeah, off screen.
Off screen, yeah.
And this is where I pull up my notes for the scenes that were added.
They're gonna sire the next generation of spoiled, indestructible people.
Did either of you guys find the line about the child of Wonder Woman and Superman and Batman being weird?
No.
Oh yeah. I mean, not really, but sort of.
No, they're gonna take their
because
kid.
He's like a godchild or something.
Yeah, they're gonna take their kid, send him to Batman, so he's gonna be raised by Batman.
Yeah,
like that's not gonna mess him up.
Yeah, no doubt, because that's worked out
for
so
Dick
well.
Grayson. Yeah.
Okay, so the collected edition has 2 additional scenes. The first scene is 4 pages at the end of issue or chapter 2. In this case, like they were broke up. You could tell where the chapters would be. In which Superman visits Orion on Apocalypse. So that was added.
Oh yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, added after the fact. And then the second scene is the 8-page epilogue at Planet Krypton, the restaurant. So that was not in the original miniseries.
Oh, so that whole thing was added. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
And I did like that scene. It actually kind of like lessened the negative like vibe I had about the scene before that. Yeah.
I especially liked the very, very end where Norman and the Spectre are looking at the menu items, and they read the Spectre sandwich, and it sounds like something really disgusting.
Like kale and cottage cheese.
Yeah.
It did feel like, happy ending, like a little bit. Like it was a little much, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But not necessarily any worse than whatever scene before it. So, final thoughts?
Holy buckets artwork.
Oh, yeah. Alex Ross. Looks good.
Yeah.
Did you like the art?
Yeah, I did. It was very pretty, and I liked the subtleness of a lot of it. Like in the very beginning, where the focus is definitely on Norman and whatever he's doing. I don't know if the Spectre's there at that point or not. But then back in the window in the background, there's people flying around. Stuff like that. I enjoy that.
Yeah. Alex Ross stuff always looks good. Super detailed. He, and this is not unique to this book or anything, but he has this interesting ability to balance like ultra detailed without crossing over into almost like uncanny valley line, to where sometimes you'll see something that's like obviously painted but very realistic, but in that realistic context crazy stuff's happening, it just doesn't really mesh. And I don't ever feel, if that makes sense, but I don't ever feel that with his stuff. It looks good.
Yep.
Yeah.
On point. There's no debate about it. I don't know anybody who's going to like trash Alex Ross's art.
Nope. I don't see how anybody could really trash the book either. The whole thing was great.
Yeah, it's a classic. I can kind of see why, I mean, you can see where it's basically inspired a lot of the pieces that we've even read like after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Wonder Woman doesn't age.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I was surprised by that too.
She didn't. Yeah, she hadn't apparently, and everybody, even Superman had, and she hadn't. So I'm thinking, is she just gonna be fertile forever? Could she have just like continue to have god babies for like eternity?
No, probably.
Well, because you make them out of clay, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That was a lie.
That's true. What did Superman do? How did that work?
No, I mean,
I don't know.
if you continued reading the comics, and we're going by that, then she wasn't made of clay. It was a lie. She was Zeus's daughter.
Well, I think that was New 52. What's the word?
Well, that's what they did to what's her name? Troy. Donna, is it Donna Troy? They made her out of clay to kill Wonder Woman. Something.
Yeah.
Retcon. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Retcon. Yeah.
It made more sense that way though. Anyway.
They flip flop on. That's one of those weird details where it's like, where somebody's like made out of clay. We still sticking with that? That's kind of weird, right?
It's very weird.
It's one of those things.
And plus, then she got to be the God of War. That seems appropriate for Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I mean, they play into that here. She's very much, I mean, obviously, a warrior, but also like the one campaigning for war. Like, this is a war.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And also touching on like people calling her out. Like, how can you be an ambassador for peace, but also a warrior? Which I don't know if I didn't read any of that Wonder Woman stuff you were reading.
You should have just for the old God of War before she became God of War. I think I told you about it though. It was the greatest. It was like this old man in a suit, and he was like ragged and tired, and his ankle, like the ankle of his pants and the cuffs of his jacket were soaked in blood, like blood stained.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just always walking around like trying to get trashed or whatever. And and trying to like be like, you should be the new God of War because I'm tired and I don't want to do it anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was a great character and drawn really well. Anyway, enough of that. We're on this. I like that they didn't get too much, even though it was a minister and everything. They didn't try to get too religious about it all.
Well,
because that's always weird in these superhero books.
I thought that was interesting because heavy religious themes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the story itself is modeled around Revelations, and the end of the world, but the preacher is not preachy.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, at several times he said he's mentioned like questioning his faith, and he seemed very logical.
Mm-hmm.
And when it came down to it, it wasn't. Yeah, he didn't even really preach about morality or anything. He was just there to kind of witness.
Mm-hmm.
Witness.
Ha!
But he never really did pass judgments.
Mm-mm.
And
No, neither him nor the Spectre.
yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Apparently he was modeled after, I can't remember if it was Mark Waid's father or Alex Ross's father. I probably should have noted that better, but he was modeled after him.
You know what I find strange?
I think it was Alex Ross because Alex Ross actually had him come in and model him, but also the character of the minister was modeled after his father.
Okay. In the little bit of things I've seen of the Spectre, it seems like there is no controlling it. It just has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird to me that it didn't, because that's what it seems like. Like it's not even him at that point. It becomes the hand of God or something.
He's constant. He's the perpetual Deus Ex
Machina?
Yeah. Which, he is kind of a godly type force, but
kind of nice they didn't use him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's really there. He's a tour guide, or like at least he's the car in which Norman gets to ride around in.
Yeah.
And he doesn't otherwise interfere at all.
Car with the voice of Optimus Prime, the evil Kit.
Oh no. See, that's what needs to happen with future DC cinematic universe movies.
They need to be pulled into the Baywatch Knight Rider universe.
Yeah, exactly.
And Optimus Prime somehow?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Transformers. That's the Bay in Baywatch. The Michael Bay.
Oh,
You can't spell Baywatch without B-A-Y.
We could still make fun of Michael Bay.
Randall.
There's a little too much glee there. Like, nothing terrible's happened to him, so we can be mean.
Michael Bay, stay healthy.
What?
I can't say any. I don't know. I can't say anymore without like starting to be ruthless towards other people. So
Yeah, so stop it.
yeah.
Don't ever wake up, Cyborg.
Don't ever wake up. I have been getting into a good groove with playing those games of like just talking to the game, talking to myself.
Yeah.
Watching it later, like editing it and stuff, like because when I record them, I do edit a little bit if need be. I'm like, this is no different than me recording myself with like a couple action figures. Like, hey, how about you go over here, Donatello? Hey, what about this Batman? And like arguing with them.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is totally what I'm doing.
You could probably do that and still get people watching.
Oh yeah, especially if I did it in like
you
a
might get
high-pitched-
more. Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
might get
Yeah.
more views.
those
Like,
kids
what
channels.
is wrong with this guy?
Yeah, I know. God, there's this one chick that Bella watches, and I'm like, come on, get a job, please. And it's two sisters, and they're adult. They're very adult, and they play Barbies all day, and that's what they do. And the girls watch it.
That's their job.
It's insane, and ugh.
Those kids channels make bank because usually they're kid friendly, so advertisers haven't had beef with them. Although there are some really questionable, weird kids channels masquerading as kids channels, but they're advertiser friendly, and kids will watch the same videos, over and over and over 1,000 times. That they're getting the same ad revenue every play.
Dave was telling me about a show where they're basically kids playing with their own toys.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like kids will watch that rather than go play with their own toys. They will watch these rich kids get to play with toys that they can't afford.
Well, sometimes they watch rich kids play with toys that they can't afford, and they'll play with their own little piddly toys along with them, like they have a friend. Because I've seen that before too.
Really?
Yes.
Oh man.
It's sad. But, whatever, I guess, it's better than playing by yourself, maybe? I don't know. But they will start a playlist and let it run forever.
Oh yeah, and they won't even
The
necessarily
entire
pay
day,
attention to it. Yeah.
when they go to sleep, just running. And they don't stop. They just keep going forever and ever.
A lot of those videos, like, it's common to come across those type of videos with 20, 30, 40 million views easily.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I mean, those videos I think get the most views out of any videos on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
What about cartoons?
I mean, how many cartoons are on there?
I don't know. But
Those videos, you can crank those things out. You could probably easily crank out enough to do like a video a day. Any kind of animation, unless you're stealing a cartoon and putting it up there, you can't do it that high a turnover.
no, I meant like real, actual cartoons.
Oh.
Like Chloe likes to watch Peppa Pig, and she watches it on YouTube.
Well, I mean, I'm sure those get tons too, yeah. But those...
Not to be confused with Pepe the Frog.
Yeah.
No, it's
Very different.
not Pepe. It's Peppa. Like Salt and Peppa, only it's not. It's
okay.
Peppa the Pig.
Spinderella cut it up one time.
Yep.
Did we do final thoughts on this? I think we did.
Final thoughts are it's awesome, and we love it.
Yep, it's a classic.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good. I was not disappointed. And I can see why. I kind of wish... I wish I would have read it back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Because reading it, I could recognize that, like, this was probably, like, this was... I'm sure when it came out, like, felt like a very untread territory.
Mm-hmm.
But reading it now, I still, like, I could see that, but it didn't feel that way because I was like, oh, that's like this. That's like this. That's like this.
But really, those are all like...
But that indicates also, like, the influence it had for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Letters page. We have no letters.
Again?
No.
Well,
we had a letter last episode.
Yeah.
That'll have to sustain us.
Come on, 10-year-olds. Send us some letters.
All the year-olds.
Yeah, all the year-olds.
If you would like to send us an email or perhaps record a voice message and put it into an email and send it to us, you can do so. We'll play it on the show. Most likely if it's relevant,
Yeah, what do you think? Did Kingdom Come hold up?
Yeah.
Is it timeless? We think it is.
And we're right. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But
Letters at grawlixpodcast.com. That's an email address. Letters at grawlixpodcast.com. Or if you want to, pick up the old telly, ring us up.
The old telly. The orange Muppet guy on Sesame Street.
I don't think. Okay.
Just go with it. It's not weird, Morty.
Oh no, Rick's coming out. Call 559-426-6427 because that's help. Help us. Rick's here. Okay. No, leave a voicemail at 559-426-6427. That's 559-4-COMICS.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You like that? That's good.
We'll play it on the show. I mean, obviously, we'll put anything on this thing.
Yep.
Just don't start singing content again because I can't stand it.
Content.
That was my clicking my pen to stab him with, but then he stopped. So anyway, so this is Melanie, and I don't want to survive. I want a Grawlix.
This is Jesse. Scott, if your life had a face, I would Grawlix it.
This is Randy. Look, I know you know lots of stuff about, well, basically Grawlix, but do you know any sci-fi? Thank you for listening to the Grawlix Podcast. The Grawlix Podcast is a production of the Electronic Media Collective and Vorpal Arrow Studios. For more Grawlix Podcasts, check out grawlixpodcast.com. Also find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, YouTube, electronicmediacollective.com, facebook.com/GrawlixPodcast, twitter.com/GrawlixPodcast, all the .com/all the Grawlix Podcast. Punch it? What's that?
Yeah, that's Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh.
Mine was 12 Years a Slave. Uh-huh.
A little tonal shift there.
Wow, yeah, I guess so.
Holy cow.